Do you want to learn how to make these delicious loaves of bread? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how. Today I'm making bread. It's pretty simple and bland, but once combined with other ingredients, it becomes a masterpiece. So let's make it. So now we have to proof our yeast. First, we're gonna get 2 1/4 cups of water in a bowl. Then we're gonna add 1/4 ounce of active dry yeast and 1/2 teaspoon of sugar. And now we're just gonna stir it and we're gonna let it sit for 5 minutes. So now we're gonna take some canola oil, 2 tablespoons to be exact, and we're gonna add that to our yeast mixture. And now we're gonna mix. Okay, so now that we have our yeast mixture, now we're gonna add some bread flour. You can substitute all-purpose flour for this, which is what I'm using. Bread flour just has a little bit more gluten, but it doesn't really matter. Get that second cup.
Whoa!
And the third cup of flour. Now we're gonna add a tablespoon of salt, which is about 1 shake, or 2 maybe. And now for the sugar, we're gonna get 3 tablespoons of sugar. So a pretty good amount. Now we're gonna mix this together, just a brief mix. And now we're gonna add our yeast mixture into it. And we're gonna mix this until smooth. And then we're gonna add 1/2 cup of flour until it forms a soft dough. We're using 6 1/4 cups of flour to 6 3/4 cups of flour. So keep adding 1/2 cups until then. Okay, so the bread is finished mixing. I recommend using a stand mixer because otherwise it's very hard if you do it by hand. But you can use a bread mixer depending on the setting, if you have a mix setting. And now it's time to knead it. So basically, just use the palm of your hand, stretch it out like that. You'll know it's properly kneaded when if you take a little piece and stretch it out, you can see through it and it won't break apart. You can see that this one broke apart, so it's not ready. I need to knead it more. But this is 2 loaves, so if you want to get 1 loaf, just half all of the ingredients. And yeah, it should take about 5 to 10 minutes to knead this fully. Okay, so now we have our kneaded dough, and this bowl has to be 2 times bigger than the dough because it's gonna rise double in size. So I'm just gonna spray some avocado spray on it. Or it doesn't need to be avocado spray, it can be any kind of spray. Now I'm gonna plop that in there, kind of toss it around so it gets completely coated. And now I'm gonna cover it with a damp cloth so the top doesn't get wet. And yeah, now we're just gonna put it in the oven under an oven light for 90 minutes. Okay, so now we're gonna put it in the oven with an oven light. Absolutely no heat, just the oven light. That'll be enough to keep it warm. And yeah. Okay, so now this is done. If you poke a hole in it, it'll slowly rise up. And now we're just gonna punch it. You can hear that. It just released all of the air. And now we're gonna remove it from the proofing container and cut it in half. Okay, so after I cut it into 2 pieces with this tool, I'm gonna load both of them So this is a greased loaf pan. And this one, it's not necessarily a loaf pan, but we're gonna try it out and see how well it is. Okay, so now that we've shaped our dough into our molds or pans, we're gonna proof it one more time. So just put it in the oven, only the oven light, and we're gonna put a damp cloth on that. Make sure to proof it for 60 to 90 minutes. It's finally time to bake. We're gonna bake at 375 degrees for 30 to 35 minutes. And if you wanna really make sure that it's done cooking, then use a thermometer. It should be around 185 degrees Fahrenheit once it's finished. And yeah. Okay, so after you take the bread out of the oven, you have to leave it in the pan and put it on like a wire rack for about 10 minutes. And then you can take it off and let it cool as much as you want. And if you want to keep it like fresh, you just put like some plastic wrap over it. So now we're gonna try this. This is the regular loaf that we made, and this is the circular loaf, and we're gonna try them. So for the regular one, nice crust, I like that. Really soft inside. Nice, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Time for this. Nice crust again, even softer inside. I love how it looks like a baguette, so you can kind of like use it as a baguette. So for that, I'll give it an 8.5. Anyways, that's Messy Chef. See you in the next video.